What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? So we're going to look at the solo for Limelight by Rush off the 1981 album Moving Pictures. This is a really fun one, really tough solo too. Alex Lifeson has stated in multiple interviews that this is most likely his favorite guitar solo that he came up with, and it's personally my favorite Alex Lifeson solo as well. It's so emotional, it's got so many different parts to it, it's got a really cool delay and chorus sound to it, and it's just a lot of fun to play. And it's really fun to play with your vibrato arm. If you've got a guitar with a vibrato arm, whammy bar, tremolo bar, it's got all different sorts of terms, but it's great practice for really learning how to use that very subtly. So let's jump right in, and we're going to take a look at this. All right, so let's dive into the solo for Limelight. It's going to start up here on the B string. This solo, you're going to want to have a vibrato arm, whammy bar, whatever you want to call it. You really need to have that for this solo to play it correctly. You can still follow along with me and play on whatever guitar you have, but it is going to help you tremendously if you have the bar, and you'll see what I mean throughout my demonstration. So we're going to come up here, and the very first part of the solo is the easiest part. You're just going to hit an open B string. Give the bar a little bit of love there. Open B, and then the harmonic on the 12th fret of B. So it's going to look like this. And then you're going to do a slow little dive bomb. It's just very, very slow. Maybe about a step and a half. And then you're going to come up here and hit this F sharp note on the 4th fret of the D string. You're going to kind of slide up to it. And then you're going to slide up a whole step to a G sharp. Same thing on the 4th fret of the A string. You're going to slide up to this C sharp. And then slide up to the 4th fret on the the low E string, the G sharp. So it's going to look all together like this. This is the first part of the solo. And each time you're kind of pausing in between picking a note, you want to give just a little bit of bend on the vibrato arm. Okay, so that's the first phrase. Now we're going to come up here to the 11th fret, and we're going to play the second phrase. So it's going to look like this. Okay, so there's a lot of slide-ins to different sections in this solo, and coupled with the delay you have. I have a long delay on. I've rolled my gain off just a little to make it a little clearer for demonstration purposes, but that delay is very crucial throughout this song. So you want to make sure you have a nice long delay on with some reverb and chorus. So anyways, we're going to slide up to the 11th fret on the G string. And with the bar, you want to be very soft. You don't want to be, very soft. It's actually kind of difficult to do. Okay, so then strike it again. And then when you strike it this time, you're going to go down and back up like this. Okay, so we have, and then you're going to go 12th fret on the B, and then 14th fret on the E. So it's going to look like this. Do that again. And then you're going to come up here to the G string on the 15th fret, 14th fret B string, and then 13th fret G string. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so let's go from the top and put it all together so far. So this next phrase, you're going to come up here and you're going to play this little fast alternate picked sequence. It's really cool to play. It's really fun. It's a little tricky though. It's going to start up here on the 11th fret of the E string, and then it's going to go 11, and you're going to go 12, 11 on the B. So the first phrase is going to be this. Okay? Then you're going to come up, instead of going back to the 11th fret on the E string, you're going to go to the 12th fret, or excuse me, the 14th fret on the E string. And this time, instead of going 12, 11, you're going to go 11, 12. So it's going to look like this. First part, second part. Okay, so it's a little bit of a mind cramp at first, but take your time with it. I'll play it slow. That speed. So the little hammer on there at the end, I guess that last 12th fret on of the B string. Okay, so we'll put those two phrases together here. We've got this one. Okay, and then coming out of that, we've got this really cool transitional phrase here on the B string. Okay, so it's going to be a pull off from the 16th fret to the 14th fret, and you're going to give a little bend with that vibrato arm. Not a lot, because it's a little passing phrase. And then you're going to go from the 11th to the 12th fret of the B string, and you're going to hammer on from the 11th fret to the 12th fret like this. So we've got this. Okay, and then you're going to come up to the G string, and you're going to hit the 11th fret. And then you're going to do this little 13 to 11, 13 to 11. So it's going to look like this. Now the last part of this phrase is why you need to have the vibrato arm. Everything I've done so far, you could play with your fingers. You could do vibrato with your fingers. It won't sound the same, but you could get away with that. This last part is the reason you need a vibrato arm for this song. And it's going to look like this. You're coming off of this phrase. Now this last phrase, you're going to pull off the string to an open G and then do a dive bar bend, probably down about a whole step. So it's going to look like this. Okay, so you're pulling off of the 12th or the 11th fret of G to an open G. See, if you don't have a bar, it just sounds like that. It doesn't sound right, right? You want to go. Okay, so let's do that phrase. So it looks like this. And then we go into the last phrase of the solo. So the last phrase of the solo, you're coming off this bend, this dive bar bend here, and you're going to start up way up here on 17 of E and bend it up a whole step. But you're coming off the bend. This is what makes it a little tricky. So you've got this. Then you give it that pick. Does that make sense? So you got. Okay? So you got the bend here. Then you're going to go down, up, down, up, down. Give a little vibrato arm. Now this next part, he plays it differently live in the later years than he did on the album. When I play this song, I like to play it the way he plays it in the later years, but you can play it the way he played it on the album and on the Moving Pictures tour. Exit stage left, thank you, escaped me. I'll show you both ways. So this is the way it's played on the album. So you're coming out of this. Now what he does live and what I like doing, just because I think it just sounds better, different, I don't know, there's no right or wrong way. Alex wrote it, Alex plays it both ways. Do whatever you want, you know? It's gonna go like this. So instead of bending up a whole step, you're just gonna play the note up here on 18. And then the same down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so we've got this. And now the last part of the solo is, this is really fun to play, and this is alternate picked. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There's no hammer-ons, pull-offs, this is all alternate picked. It's gonna look like this. And then into that part. So it's gonna start here on the 14th fret of E, and you're just gonna go up whole steps. Up a whole step from 14 to 16 to 18. So then you're gonna slide your first finger up to 16. 16, 18, 19, 16, 18, 19. Then 18, 19, 21. And then do a whole step bend. And it's about down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, down. And then a little bar on the end there. Okay, so let's do that whole section. Okay, and that's the solo. So at the very end of the solo, if you listen to the recording and some of the live versions where he'll have a separate amp where he's keep having a special delay pedal that's keeping that last note going. This note that note will keep ringing out. You'll hear it in the recording. It'll ring out for a while. You could do that with a looper. You could record that note on a looper and kick the looper on. Sometimes he did that live. It wasn't a looper. It was a delay pedal coming through a separate amp. I use a fractal system now, and in order to do that, I would have to record that at the beginning of every sound check, and it wouldn't save into my system. So just a little bit of extra knowledge there. Let's go back through the entire solo, and we'll play it. I'll play it one time a little bit slow, and then I'll play it one time at speed, and follow along. This is a tough solo, so take your time, go through each section, pause, learn each section, and most importantly, play to the recording, because this solo is all about feel. It's all about feeling where the bass is, listening to the drums, but most importantly, listening to where Geddy's root note is on the bass, listening to where it changes. That's what tells me when to go to the next section when playing this live. When you're playing to a recording, you're playing to something. When you're playing live, you're the one playing. You don't have the recording of the guitar to play over, so. All right, let's start at the beginning of the solo. I'm gonna turn the gain up, the volume up just a little bit now, so it's gonna be a little more gainy, and we're gonna play it slow, and then we'll play it fast. All right, now we're going to do it at speed. So real quick, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the effects that I'm using for this solo. The most important thing, I think, in addition to the delay, or excuse me, the chorus and the reverb, is the delay. The delay is a 500-second millisecond kind of dual delay, and what that means is the dual delay that I have set up in my fractal unit, it doesn't do the ping pong effect, but it does kind of bounce a little bit left and right for that very ambient feeling. When this song was recorded at Le Studio in Canada, which is no longer there, unfortunately, Rush recorded this song outside. It's up in the mountains, up in the hills, and this solo was actually recorded at like 1 or 2 in the morning when it was dark outside and there was nobody around, and they put some amps and microphones outside and actually bounced some of the sound off the mountains and the hills and had it pick up by the amps, and they had a microphone here and there and stuff like that to give it that really wishy-washy ambient effect. But you really want to try to get a 500 millisecond delay on your tone, which gives it that nice kind of carryover from each note. So basically what that's doing is when you're going to the next note, there's still a little bit of carryover from the last note, but it doesn't get super, super jumbly where you can't distinctly tell the difference between the two sounds. So it's a really cool trick that Alex does a lot in his soloing, especially on some of the records in the 80s. He kind of does that longer delay where you keep the previous note and then you play the next note and they kind of blend together. They keep almost like you're juggling, you know? Like if you're catching 2 ball, throwing up, catch one, but you've always got a ball in the air. You know, you've always got a note moving forward, but you kind of hear the remains of the last note, hence delay. So, and then the chorus is just kind of a simple chorus setting. I've got the rate at about, I don't know, 35%. The reverb is just kind of a hall reverb. You can kind of do whatever you want for that. It's just try to get it to sound close to the recording. But I don't get too in depth of exactly the rack mount unit he used and this and that, because you know you can there's so many great effects these days and pedals, you can get things so close. So I mostly just try to get it to sound the way that I feel comfortable playing it, where it feels as close to the recording as possible, but in a way that I feel comfortable. So hope you enjoy this review. The Rush tour starts in just a couple weeks. It's exciting. And stay tuned for more videos. We're going to have a lot more videos coming up. They're going to have some Def Leppard tutorials coming up. I'm going to teach you how to play full songs by Rush, not just the solos. So subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.